lot of
Jake Paul?
articles and social media news floating around saying that you could potentially be negotiating with Terence Crawford directly for a main fight. Any truth to that?
No, I'm working in other things. Now I'm enjoying my family. I'm not talking about boxing yet. So maybe in January we wanna start doing that.
Where do things stand with Turkey? Turkey said he would like to open a line of communication with you. No middlemen, just you and him.
I never say no to business. So if it is a business for me, I'm open to talk, no matter what.
Anything else for Chula Vista?
No, thank you everybody from Chula Vista. Thank you for your support.
The likelihood of a fight with you and Terence Crawford, it would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We're not talking about yet about the fight. Me and Turkana know each other, and then we wanna see what happens.
And when do you want to get out next? I know you're here in London tonight. When are you going to be in a camp?
Huh?
When are you going to be in a camp? I know you're here.
Training camp in March.
Okay, so
at the beginning of the middle of the February or March, yeah.
In a major breakthrough for the boxing world, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have officially agreed to square off in a highly anticipated super middleweight bout. The fight is set for September 2025 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. This announcement has sparked tremendous excitement among fans, as it pits two of the sport's most accomplished fighters against each other in a historic showdown.
What's up, fight fans? Some breaking news. This guy, Julius Julianis, who's an ESPN Knockouts reporter, is reporting that the fight isn't only about to be announced, but the contracts are signed between none other than Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford. In Julianis' report, he claims that this fight has been signed, sealed, delivered, and it's going down this September in Las Vegas. We know Canelo was in London for the Ring Magazine Awards with Turki Al-Sheikh, seemingly shaking hands as business partners. And just today, as a few hours ago, Bud Crawford landed in London and was seen with Turki Al-Sheikh this September. It's official. What are your thoughts? This headline is all the details the Ring Magazine put out about 2 hours ago. Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford, the fight is up. Guys, are they just messing with us for real? Because this is what, 48 hours removed from them reporting the location? First ever stadium fight, Allegiant Stadium. Even though the fight was 7 months away in September, this in everybody's eyes was going on. And then all of a sudden, the Ring Magazine, Turki Al-Sheikh, releases this with no other details. Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford in September is off.
The agreement for this blockbuster fight was finalized in January 2025, setting the stage for a historic showdown. Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed super middleweight champion, holds an impressive record of 62 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, with 39 victories coming by knockout. His opponent, Terence "Bud" Crawford, remains undefeated with 41 wins, including 31 knockouts, and currently reigns as the undisputed welterweight champion. This bout marks Crawford's bold move up to the super middleweight division, as he looks to further solidify his legacy by taking on Alvarez.
All right, let's talk Canelo Crawford, Jake Paul again. Let's try and give a timeline of events. So on Tuesday, Ring Magazine confirmed that Canelo Crawford was on for September 13th, Raiders Stadium. That's what we got on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we start hearing whispers of Jake Paul. It sounded crazy at the time. I did a video on it. I said that's impossible. But then those whispers became louder and louder and louder. On Thursday, Ring Magazine reported that Canelo Crawford was off. Thursday evening, so just after me and G-Man had filmed, we got reports that Jake Paul versus Canelo, or Canelo versus Jake Paul, was very much a real thing and was close to being signed off, and that would have happened on Netflix. About 2 hours later, we got confirmation that Canelo versus Jake Paul is now not a thing and is off, and that Canelo has signed a 4-fight deal with Riyadh Season, and Turkey went on social media talking about he's the lion and don't mess with the lion and things like that, which I thought was quite funny. Canelo versus Crawford is now back on, and that will happen in September. Canelo versus Jake Paul is now off and won't happen for at least another couple of years. Yeah, I think that's where.
Jake Paul has recently criticized Canelo Alvarez for signing a 4-fight deal with Riyadh Season, which resulted in the cancellation of their anticipated bout. Paul accused Alvarez of dodging tough opponents, including Terence Crawford, due to public pressure. He claimed that Alvarez is now a slave to Riyadh Season, suggesting that financial incentives played a major role in his decision to steer clear of more competitive matchups.
Cnelo, you puta.
This fucking YouTuber. I just fight real fighters.
Time to expose him. So we had a signed contract to fight. Here you can see Canelo's signature and my signature to the right. Claiming he's not fighting YouTubers. Bullshit. Look at the poster. We were announcing Tuesday, February 11th. Claiming he fights real fighters, but he's fighting Crawford, a 135-pound fighter, and running from a real fighter like David Benavidez, you bitch. The truth is you can be bought. You're a money-hungry squirrel chasing your next nut. The truth is these sports-washing shady characters are paying you hundreds of millions of dollars to stop our fight from happening because they couldn't fathom the fact that they can't create a bigger fight than me and you. Al Heyman has made you hundreds of millions of dollars and you turned your back on him for this check. Disloyal. And you were begging to do this fight on pay-per-view. But I have loyalty. Loyalty to Netflix, doing the biggest numbers. And you call me a YouTuber, but you've never had a boxing match as big as mine. Remember you told my team that your daughter came home and asked if you were fighting Jake Paul? She was all excited. You said that was the first time your daughter's ever asked you about a fight. And you're screwing over all your Mexican fans by doing your fights in Saudi. It just shows what type of person you are. And I promise you one thing, Canelo. Any fight that you do this year, mine will be bigger. So go fuck off to your boss, you Ring Magazine employee, you pink and orange bitch. And oh, fix that herpes on your lip, you dirty puta.
At a recent live press conference, Canelo Alvarez sent a strong message to Terence Crawford, asserting his dominance in the super middleweight division. "This is my territory," Alvarez declared. "Crawford is a great fighter, but stepping into my division is a whole different challenge. I'm ready to show why I'm the champion here." His confidence highlights his determination to defend his titles against a skilled opponent making the jump in weight class.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can,
Canelo?
in all honesty. I mean,
Yeah.
he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement. If you're Terence Crawford in that fight, the last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
You know.
Canelo Alvarez, renowned for his power and tactical versatility, is widely regarded as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. On the other hand, Terence Crawford, a 4-division world champion, brings exceptional speed, precision, and adaptability to the ring. This clash of styles and skill sets has fans eagerly anticipating what promises to be one of the biggest boxing events of the year.
Crawford said that he moved up and won, and Canelo moved up and lost.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
I don't think that was a strong point because Canelo Alvarez actually moved up and won. I mean, he moved up a lot of weight classes, but if you want to talk about light heavyweight, he moved up and he beat Cobra. Then he moved up again and he lost to Devil. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, he moves up to 154. He won 115, 113, but it was just an 11-0 Madrimov who didn't really have much of a resume, right? But there's a difference, to be real. I mean, Bivol is a Hall of Fame. Okay, this guy, all-time light heavyweight. It's a bit different. Canelo did knock out Kovalev when he did move up, okay? And Kovalev is a bigger challenge at light heavyweight than Madrimov at 154 for Terence Crawford. Let's just keep it up.
Canelo Alvarez remains a dominant force in the super middleweight division, boasting an impressive 62-2 record. His ability to excel in higher weight classes, combined with his power, agility, and experience, makes him a formidable challenge for any opponent. Former champion Sean Porter has raised concerns about how Terence Crawford will handle Canelo's punching power, given the Mexican star's reputation for delivering devastating blows. Porter questions whether Crawford can withstand such force, especially considering the significant jump in weight classes. This concern highlights the broader skepticism surrounding Crawford's ability to endure the physical demands of facing a naturally larger and stronger opponent.
The others say like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down. So I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean? So,
former 4-division world champion Mikey Garcia has shared his thoughts on the upcoming super middleweight clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Garcia believes that Alvarez's size and power will play a crucial role in the outcome of the fight. While acknowledging Crawford's exceptional skills, he pointed out that the significant size difference could be a major challenge. Garcia noted that Alvarez has been competing at 168 pounds for years, whereas Crawford only recently moved up to 154 pounds and encountered some difficulties at the weight.
I'm not even a fan of that fight. There are too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, maybe 166 max if he accepts. I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think Crawford has accomplished everything he had to accomplish from 140, 147, now 154. That's even greater for him. He wants to do something, collect belts at 154, he can attempt that. But there's no money in that compared to the Canelo fight. And Canelo is trying to fight other guys, and at that point it's more of a big fight, for the money that's gonna generate. But as a fight fan, I'm not really a fan of that matchmaking. I'd rather see Canelo move up and fight somebody like Bitterbeef or Revolt again. If he wanted to challenge himself, move up to 175 again, and challenge himself against those guys. Not a smaller guy moving up.
Joel Diaz expressed confidence in Canelo Alvarez's ability to take on Terence Crawford. While acknowledging Crawford's reputation as the pound-for-pound best, Diaz highlighted Canelo's unique skill set and thorough preparation, emphasizing that Alvarez is more than ready for the challenge.
People that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
When you say, I want Canelo, is there anybody in the camp that would say, you're not ready for this?
That's a big boy. He's strong. That's a conversation. It's not just, oh man, you will whoop his ass. Like,
yes, man type stuff.
Yeah. I'm not worried about Canelo. I'm not thinking about Canelo. I'm just focused on Israel Madrimov.
In a small way, is this a stepping stone to your dream fight?
I don't look at fights as stepping stones. It's about now.
Former world champion Demetrius Andrade believes that while Terence Crawford is an exceptional fighter, Canelo Alvarez's size and experience in higher weight classes give him a clear advantage. Andrade predicts that Crawford may struggle against Canelo's power and agility. Crawford faces a significant challenge as he moves up 2 weight classes to take on Alvarez. In his last fight, he competed at 154 pounds, securing a hard-fought decision victory over Israel Madrimov. While he demonstrated skill and adaptability at that weight, jumping to 168 pounds presents an entirely new test. In the super middleweight division, Crawford will face opponents who are not only heavier but also naturally stronger and more accustomed to competing at that size.
Be great. That'll be 3 times. If you go 154 and win the belt, that's 3 times super. Then I said, chase super greatness. Come on, Canelo, 160.
Well, if he can get in there with Charlo in like his next 2 fights, where he still got age on his side, then maybe go up again. Like if he's trying to chase the greatness, but I mean he already done something that's never been done. Charlo don't want none of that smoke.
Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight. He's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better. No, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, but you know, like I say, he's weight classes for a reason. I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and you never know what happened.
Yeah,
Next.
yeah.
Unlike his previous bouts, where his speed, precision, and technical prowess gave him the edge, facing a physically dominant fighter like Canelo Alvarez could neutralize some of those advantages. Canelo's power, durability, and experience in the division present a significant challenge, forcing Crawford to adjust both his strategy and conditioning. Moving up to super middleweight to face Canelo is a major leap. The transition comes with challenges, including adapting to the increased power and physicality of opponents in the higher weight class. While Crawford's technique and skill are exceptional, questions remain about whether his power and durability will hold up against a naturally bigger and stronger opponent like Canelo.
Just a few weeks ago, you heard what Terence Bud Crawford had to say on why he wants to take on Saul Canelo Alvarez.
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason isn't money. He did say it'd be the biggest fight, which, you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him test himself up against the very best. Those are the reasons the war room can get behind.
Robert Garcia has also weighed in on the upcoming fight, predicting a Canelo Alvarez victory. While he hasn't provided a detailed breakdown, his view aligns with the majority favoring Canelo. Garcia believes that if Terence Crawford takes the fight, it will primarily be for the massive payday it offers. According to him, Crawford has already secured his legacy and financial future, meaning he doesn't necessarily need to take on this challenge. However, if the fight happens, Garcia expects Crawford to be highly competitive in the early rounds, likely holding his own for the first 6 to 8 rounds. He acknowledges Crawford's exceptional skill, ring IQ, and strength, which could give him an edge in the initial exchanges.
What's a smart bet on Crawford Canelo? Canelo by knockout or Canelo by decision?
Crawford by decision. If you have to bet?
Yes.
I say Canelo by decision. Crawford by decision. No, but you say Canelo by knockout or Canelo?
Yeah, no, because I'm saying that's what's going to happen. Canelo's going to beat him. But which one?
I don't know, man. Crawford is fucking gangster. I've always been saying, I think Canelo at the end, obviously his strength, his weight,
experience
probably takes over. But Shit, I wouldn't be surprised if Crawford just fucking boxes and fights smart and beats him.
He's probably gonna be 40-1 underdog or something crazy like that, right? It's not gonna be close.
No, it's gonna be close.
3 weight classes?
3-4-1. ¿No crees?
Nah.
It's not gonna be that big of a difference. No.
When you pick the knockout? No, when you pick the knockout?
You pick a knockout. But if it's just
who wins straight out?
I think it's gonna be maybe 3-1, 4-1. Maybe that's too much. Maybe 2-1. Maybe 2-1.
I don't think so.
I'm telling you.
So they finally announced Ryu's fight. Gary Russell, what do you think? Not easy fight? No easy fights in this level? It's gonna be, finally you guys will be, the first time you're ever going to a Tank fight, right? To work a corner?
We're gonna corner a Tank's fight.
Is Tank's the main?
The highly anticipated showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is set to be a landmark event in boxing history. Alvarez's power and experience in the super middleweight division will be put to the test against Crawford's agility, technical skill, and undefeated record. Fans and analysts alike are eager to see how Crawford adapts to the jump in weight class and how Alvarez responds to the challenge of facing a fighter of Crawford's caliber.
It'll be the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Floyd, it was Floyd, and then it's gonna be Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what's on the line with that fight, right? Canelo and Terence is whose era is it? Right?
Nah.
I think Canelo had his time.
Yeah, Canelo had his
time.
Yeah.
Let's go submit our time.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
What makes Bomac such a great trainer?
He can adapt to any style, bro. Like, he can adapt to any style. First of all, DB3, we all got different styles. And he all been making this better in our own style. He got Troy Eisen. Troy Eisen is a different style. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, he got Avius Griffin. Avius Griffin is a different style. Of course, y'all know Jamel Herring and Terence Crawford. All different styles. And he make these fighters great. He can adapt to any style. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think Canelo's size and power will be too much for Crawford in the later rounds, or will Crawford's skill and strategy lead him to victory? Share your thoughts in the comments below.